Is there any evidence that maybe even the genes, or I don't want to say if it, well, do giants still exist there, or maybe people that have had those genes passed down to them? Is there any evidence of that kind of thing?
Our primary contact, who is infatuated with the giants and the cult of, he thinks that they were these benevolent Atlantean type beings, like Helena Blavatsky and a lot of the occultists. But this person believes that not because he's read Helena Blavatsky or the other occultists, but because these are the traditions and stories that were handed down to him. You were descended from the giants. We are the descendants of the giants. There were once giants inhabiting this land. They had a great civilization, the whole Atlantis narrative. And so he actually, his father was over 7 feet tall. His grandfather was over 8 feet tall.
Wow.
And this was not abnormal among his people.
Really?
In fact, in the town he lives in, Pauliarbare, it's called, there were people born with 6 fingers, 6 toes, horns.
Horns?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's the genes of the giants are still present in the genomes of the Sardinians, those who are indigenous to the island. There's no question in my mind. I mean, coming from a lineage of people who are over 7 feet tall, that's not normal, especially among Italians. That's not normal. There's something there. And then on top of it, all of the stories of giants and the bones. If you go to Sardinia and talk to a lot of the elderly, if you bring a camera, they probably won't say much, but if you just sit down and have a cup of coffee with them, they will tell you. When they were young and plowing in their fields, they turned up big skulls and mummified bodies of giants, and it was casual for them. Of course, this land was once inhabited by giants. I mean, it was, and these aren't mastodons. These aren't giant. These aren't dinosaurs. These are giant humanoids. Why? Because when they would dig these things up, what's the first thing you think they did? They looked at the fingers
Oh, wow.
for golden rings.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of the jewelry that these dead bodies, these gigantic dead humanoid bodies would be adorned with. Dinosaurs don't wear rings. Mastodons don't wear bracelets.
Right.
And so this is common fare over there in Sardinia among the elderly.
Wow.
You know, these kind of stories. And it's still happening, the cover-up of giants on that island.
Wow.
Wow. And how do you think the Catholic Church fits in over there in Sardinia?
The Catholic Church, just like we've discovered in our last film and featured in our last film, in many cases is involved in the confiscation of the bones, but also in the cover-up. But also, their churches are built literally on top of some of these sites where the bones are found, where the bones are excavated. And I don't know if I have time to tell you specifically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In the film, we feature a lot of people telling us firsthand experiences. These aren't like, oh, I once heard that there was a giant bone. No, it was, I was plowing in the field and we uncovered this. Or I was hired by the municipality, by the government, to excavate and dig up the bones of giants. Where? In specific case, we have 2 guys talking about a very specific dig. It's called Santa Anastasia. That's the name of a church. The dig happened under the church and around the church. Why? The church was built on top of these ancient ruins. These ancient Nuraghi ruins and the ruins of the tombs of the giants, which are, again, megalithic constructions. And these guys extracted from the soils around the church and from the ruins, they extracted multiple bodies of giants, from 9 to over 10.5 feet tall. And the front cover of our DVD, this is a scene from the film. There was during the course of the excavation at Santa Anastasia, they opened up a chamber that was sealed in the ruins. And when they opened the chamber, it hadn't been opened in thousands of years. When they opened the chamber, they discovered, to their great shock, this decayed, decrepit giant, dead, hunched over in the chair at a large, gigantic table in front of a gigantic plate and a gigantic chalice, hunched over, and on the plate were mussels and clams that he had been eating. The giant was dead, must have died instantly somehow, and they opened it up. There he was sitting there, and they were hired to find this kind of stuff.
Wow.
So they took the body. Sometimes they even described in great deal how they would be very gently carry the bodies and stick boards under them and pick them up. And where do you think they went? They went from the ground, from the tombs, from the ruins, straight into the church.